Hey hockey fans, welcome into an exciting matchup preview, and actually, sad story. This will be the last matchup preview of the season as the Flames regular season comes to an end. Pat Strawn, joined by the glorious voice himself, Rhett McGibbon, and obviously looking at him, he showed up dressed out for the last one.
I tried. Hey, I think we should do one for the Nationals preview.
Oh, well, we'll think about it.
Okay,
but we'll
cool.
see if, depending on how things go this weekend.
Yeah.
But speaking of this weekend, let's go back first, talking about the defending champs came into the LIC, Rhett, and the first night, the Flames were really doing an excellent job, actually made a great game of it, fell 5-4, but then the next night, Adrian really showed why they're the defending champs.
Yeah, the next night it was funny. Like Liberty came out and I think actually had a better start on the Saturday night game, but then eventually they just kind of got a little bit flat. And I don't know if it was just penalties or what it was, but it was just a kind of a weird game for them. And like you saw a couple of flashes of brilliance. Oh, they're going to do it. Barrett had a huge save on Fricks. He did the roundhouse glove save, stacking the pad, so that kind of took the wind out of their sails as well. But it was just an interesting night where, you and I both thought that Liberty might come in on the Saturday night game after being so close Friday and kind of get over the hump. But Adrian, a veteran team that's really solid, kind of showed why they're one of the top three in the nation and really closed the door on the Flames offense.
Yeah, not only closed the door, but actually moving ahead, talking about the rankings, because obviously that's what it's been all building about, getting rankings and trying to get that matchup. Flames currently were ninth going into that matchup. But do you see any change? Because statistically, you got to think the Flames should stay not only in the top 10, but even more so, as you were thinking, maybe even move up a spot.
Well, when you play number 3 and the goal differential for the whole weekend is only 5, and you have to think about when Liberty played in Adrian, the goal differential is a lot higher, and they ended up moving up from that weekend. So I think they'll be right in the same area, maybe up or down 1. It's going to be a plus or minus 1 kind of thing. But then a lot of ways, I'm kind of like, stop worrying about the rankings. Stop worrying about your first-round matchup. This is a program that's, as we mentioned on the broadcast, struggled here in the national tournament as of late. They're trying to get over that hump, and this is a team that has the skill set, the goaltending, personnel from top to bottom, coaching staff down, to be able to make a run. I'm not saying they're going to win a national championship, but they can make a run. So I think the focus just has to be, what do we need to do to clean up our game in order to make that run? Stop worrying about the opponent you're going to play, and I think that starts this weekend with Alabama, who I'm sure we're going to talk about. You just need to get your game nailed down and be confident within your game.
Speaking of confidence, obviously coming into this week, it's all about the X's and O's definitely coming into practice. You being not only a former coach, but also a former player in the program. Talk about the mindset that's probably going into the guys trying to close out things here at the LIC for the regular season.
Well, I think we've seen it, Pat, that 5-on-5, the Flames can play with about any team. Yeah. Like we saw it with Adrian this weekend, and we said top 3 team in the nation. They can play 5-on-5 with them. Special teams play is where things start to get a little bit, I wouldn't say dicey, but where there's room to grow. And the PK killed off a 5-on-3 this past weekend. Other times they started to do the kind of the back and forth 1-tees from the high slot area from the point, and that caught Liberty off guard. But if you can really get your PK on fire, dialed in, working at like a 90% clip, that's going to be huge for you headed into Nationals play. And also the power play, you have a new talent. You have Josh Fricks, and obviously we see he can score goals and he can make offense happen. You have to figure out where he fits in best on either one of those power play units, and who's the personnel, who's the right guy to be with him on PP1. Do you have a Bohinski along there, or do you use Bo now on the second unit? So trying to find that right chemistry, and they haven't had time to do it yet because Josh was out with a bit of a banged up a little bit. So this weekend's going to be a prime time for them to kind of sort out, and also the ESCHL playoffs, kind of how they want the special teams play to work.
And speaking of specialty teams and guys being out, one guy that I know that people love here at the LIC and Ironman until last semester, unfortunately, Zachariah Roberts is talked about making his first game back this weekend, so that'll be huge. He'll be a big boost on the power play. But yes, moving into the final matchup of the year, going against a highly ranked team in Alabama, a team that is just on the bubble of the national tournament. They're going to be looking to try to get an upset win. So talk a little bit about that matchup, because obviously when the Flames play the Frozen Tide, it's always a great game.
It is. I don't know what it is about Alabama and coming to Lynchburg, but they absolutely love the water here. They've knocked off the Flames in multiple games, coming here on midnight games and whatnot. They always seem to rise to the occasion here in Lynchburg. Led by Taylor Joseph. It's a team that's recruited really well over the past couple seasons, always bring their A game. And like we said, this year, going to nationals is a very viable option for them. Only one spot out there, 18th as of the last ranking. New one comes out here shortly. So they're right on the verge of making their first trip to nationals play at the Division I level. So, you know, as a fan, I hope they're able to get it done. As a Flames guy, I hope it's not against the Flames this weekend where they pick up a win and are able to kind of cement that spot in the top 17.
Well, Rhett, always thank you for your insight, and make sure you're tuning in this weekend as Pat Strawn and the voice himself will call the last regular season game of the year for the Flames as the Flames take on number 18, the Frozen Tide. Hey, make sure to tune in at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, as always, Rhett, what do they need to do?
Check us out down here, the things, whatever they are, those icons.
The social media.
Social media.
Yes.
That's fun. Yeah, waste time at work.
Absolutely.